Nativity season is upon us. Lines are being learnt, carols are being rehearsed, and parents are wondering how to make the best lobster costume the school has ever seen.
And I'm the lobster.
The lobster?
Yeah!
In the nativity play?
Yeah, first lobster.
There was more than one lobster present at the birth of Jesus.
Duh!
Hugh Grant films aside, nativity costumes are something that don't really change much. If you have tinsel in your hair, you're an angel. If you're carrying a shoebox covered in crepe paper, you're a wise man. And if you're Mary, you were blue. Why is that? They certainly weren't snapping selfies in Bethlehem. So how come everyone knows that Mary wears blue? There might not be any photographic evidence of the birth of our Lord and Saviour, but there are plenty of pictures of the Nativity. And for over 1,000 years, Mary has been dressed in blue. To understand why, you have to stop thinking about clothes and start thinking about paint. For most of human history, the only colours available to paint with were those naturally occurring. Cave paintings are full of vivid reds because they were easy to come by. You could just pick up lumps of clay and earth. Blue was a bit more complicated. In the Middle Ages, people started experimenting with paint. They'd mix different, often poisonous, ingredients. Later, they refined the recipes for oil paint, where the pigment is suspended in oil, and that led the way for masterpieces like the Mona Lisa and the Nightwatch. There were problems. The layers of oily paint might crack as they dried, or the colours might change. Especially when exposed to sunlight, white could fade to yellow, and blue might become green. This is lapis lazuli. It has been mined since Neolithic times from the mountains of Afghanistan. It was used to decorate the funerary mask of Tutankhamen. And when quantities of it started being imported into Europe during the Middle Ages, artists rejoiced. Well, the rich ones did anyway. Lapis lazuli would be ground to a fine powder, rinsed of impurities, mixed with wax and left for a month before being reprocessed. It was a time-consuming, expensive way of producing paint, but it created one of the most vivid, shocking colours of the Renaissance: ultramarine. It was so exotic that its name literally means from across the seas. This paint was more expensive than gold, so if you were going to use it, you had to be painting something pretty special. In the 14th and 15th centuries, Europe was a very religious place, and the Catholic Church was at the very top of the political power pyramid. So anyone who was rich enough to commission a painting using expensive ultramarine either was the church or wanted a favour from the church. So how do you impress the church? Paint something religious. At different points in history, people have concentrated on different themes from the Bible. During the Renaissance, it was all about the humanity of Jesus, that he was born a human and that he died a mortal death. This was reflected in the art. That's why you have so many pictures of the Nativity and the Crucifixion. But now they have another problem. What part of the scene is special enough to use ultramarine on? It's going to be the centre of attention, so you can't waste it on a stable door. Put it on the most important person then? Problem with that is, there's not a lot of room on a tiny baby swaddled in a manger to include a lot of blue. And since it's canon that Jesus wasn't wearing much by the time he was nailed to the cross, yeah. So if you can't use ultramarine on the King of Kings, how about the Queen of Heaven? Mary was at the Nativity and the Crucifixion. Nobody can turn around and say she isn't important enough to stand out. And it isn't entirely implausible that Mary would have been wearing blue. While it's a time-consuming, expensive process to create blue paint, just boil up a bit of readily available woad or indigo, and you have all the blue fabric you need. As time went on, subjects of paintings changed. They left biblical scenes. The use of ultramarine was still striking though. It gave us masterpieces like Bacchus and Ariadne, Scarlet and the Pearl Earring, and much, much more. Over time, synthetic blues became available, and blue became more commonplace. But the precedent had been set. When it came to the nativity, Mary would wear blue. Even if some of the other details have been lost in translation.